Good morning, good morning. $500, 13 minutes, Saturday, December 8th, 2018. This is live is topic defending our women, why, the history, it created, what happened. And I want to start off, I was gonna use the Tupac songs, like you look it up. And this is me. I'm defending our people. If I want people to understand. In my last live, I explained more as in I want to say at the 15 to 25 mark, or it was early. So it's probably around the 15 to the 25 mark. I explained why I never blame. I understand the history. I want to start with that first. I understand the history of why our men and women are the way they are towards each other, why we are towards everybody else, why we are the way. They created this world, this patriarch, the translation, the language, actions, they all created it because we allowed it at some point. We never we never figured it out as a whole to build together to grow. And we did, they destroyed it. They keep destroying it. That has to tell you something. If you an African descendant man or woman and you don't even love your own self first, let alone your own brother, because eventually you don't love yourself, it shows outward. Because over time, I never seen so much. And and women, my African descendant women, I can tell if you don't love yourself. Like, soon as I look at you, the first discovery of me, the exploration of me, of not wanting to be myself, I started doing things on the outside first. Well, actually, it was inside. Sorry about that. The inside. I had to do a lot of things in my inside before they came outward. And once they became outward, now just say I'm in front of my house. I'm just going to say you at home. Everything's in your home. You're doing in your home. So you're doing everything in your home first. You might get some things from the outside, but you're bringing it home. You're doing it at home first. That's where everything started. It started in a home. Yes, you got some things outside, but you never checked it at home. So as let's say you come home and somebody been messing with you all day, somebody been picking on you, regardless if it's harmless to you, it's not harmless because all you know you was being hurt from this person picking on you or these people picking on you. Then you turn the television. Well, that don't make it no better. Then you turn the music on. Well, that don't make it no better. Well, there's nobody there to say how was your day. Nobody's there to talk to. Well, that don't make it no better. Now look what you just did. Now just imagine doing that every day for 2 months. All it takes is a week, but we're gonna say 2 months. Imagine do that for 2 months. Now just imagine that 8 to 9 months out the year. That's what you're feeding yourself. This is not your fault. You gotta think this is not our fault. This is the eras that our ancestors and the traditional ways and what the people pass down for generation to generation, era after era. ERA kind of turned into ERROR. I'm not gonna keep saying that because I want you to understand that the curses, the incantations they gave to us. I say it to get us to understand because I learned this. For order for me to get over, I have to actually go over what happened to me. If you keep bottling up all your pains and hurt, it's going to come out in explosion. An explosion is not so much a bomb. You can just have an outburst of anger, or we can show your bitterness is showing, your hate is showing. All of the things that you're talking about is going to constantly show up. So you got to start thinking about that. And so what I want to do is help us as a people, challenge us and guide us to some resolution or some resolve so we can be better. So hopefully the next generation, I don't care about me, whether, and it sounds funny. I don't call it a sacrifice. Through the understanding, it's called, I'm going to take the suffer for the next generation. I'm going to suffer. I'm going to suffer not so much worrying about having a child or having a wife or being a husband. If it happens, it happens. It's beautiful. But I will be prepared as if I was trying to have a child at a younger age, I wouldn't have been prepared. I was unready. I was immature in areas of my life that I should have been mature in. And now I'm mature in the areas of my life that now what kind of matter. I remember recently a woman told me, well, if one of the reasons women are not with you because, well, if your child wants something, I just kind of stopped because I knew where she was coming from. It was truth. But my mind thought about want. What about need? My child's going to be clothed, housed, and fed. They're going to have things that's enjoyable in life. They're not going to be bored. They're going to be. I have so much knowledge. I have so many skills that my child would never need or want. But if my child talking about some designer clothes that's $300, I don't even wear designer clothes at $300. And if that's what she mean, I was taken by that because it was in her voice. You can hear how women feel as they are struggling with the man that what we all been through. Remember, we only 400 years out. Then it's not even that. We are 266 years out. Not even that. God, remember, there's 266 laws against us. Even in Arkansas, there's still slavery laws. And check out our Kansas, what they're doing over there. They're building what we call satanic built over there. And we have no idea if it's satanic or not. But that's what they're building. But to me, I think about, well, you still have slavery laws, these memorials and statues and buildings and these newfound organizations. They're demonic, they're satanic to me because you're still working within satanic law. Think about that. So they're building over there. And you telling me my struggle is because you're with a African descendant man that was not given $1 million after he left the home, or he wasn't given no funds. I wasn't given a car. My tuition wasn't paid for. I didn't have that schooling to get to everything that you will see in my life. I literally had to work for. I didn't accept a lot of things. I did a lot of things so I can be better. That struggle, and if that struggle for our women, then by all means, maybe we don't. And I will say this with all earnestly and honestly, maybe we don't need to be together. But I'll say it as this: I love my women so much, I don't see myself with another woman, another race of woman, another national. Now, nationality, ethnicity is different because we got colonized, and then now we're intermingling and interracializing. Then it shows that we're going to come up with different nationality and ethnicities of African descendant people. Now you're going to see Chinese and African, Lebanese and African, even Caribbean people and African, because all Caribbean people are not African. All people are not African as Africa. And if I don't fight when I argue with people, I just tell them Africa is not the center of the world. All things did not birth Africa. The land was big. All these places was joined together, but that don't make Africa the center of the world because we have all different races of people. That don't make sense to me. Then that is to solidify that there's only one race, and then it just make the argument stupid, which we know is different. Because if you look at races of people, you can look at our differences. If all people is African, why African eyes are not slanted? We got to start thinking. To me, it has to make a lot. It got to be very logical and it has to make sense. So I want to get on and say to our women, I defend women. I tell women you're beautiful, you're loved. Or what I do every once in a while, I'll Google something. If I see the person name, I'll find them and then send them a message or whatever. Say, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are lovely, you are brilliant, you are attractive. Let them know that the society standards of what they're making up our women. And it's just for the women. I'll talk to the men too. It's easier to talk to a man because I'm a man. I grew up as a young man. I was a male, so it's easier. Regardless of we can fight and men can fight and literally 2 minutes later be talking together, playing the game, and literally don't have no hard feelings because that's the way we are because we're warriors. Now we know who a little tougher, who a little stronger. I was like, damn, I'm bigger than him, but he held his own. He didn't win. I know who the best. And we know now who's going to run away. Like, man, you screaming and hollering. I'm telling you to be quiet. You about to get us caught. And we're not doing nothing. Just like when we seen the movie The Wood. The one dude acting was supposed to be tough. Yeah, he got tough when that police came. He crying and bitch, and the little dude was just like, yo. And the man, his name was Stacy. Stacy gained respect for the little dudes, even for what he did to his sister. And he know why he did it because he was a young man. So I'm not gonna castrate, persecute a young man of things that I did. I'm not gonna be bad at the young man for grabbing the young girl, but I remember I was young. And I was by myself. There's no peer pressure. And I was like, her booty nice. Let me touch her booty. And I tried to lie and like not even go lie about it. I remember it. She had my sister middle name Latrice. I I admire Latrice a lot, but Latrice, she was sexually active already in high school. So as a lot of other women and young men. And I was like, wow, her booty looked nice. She had on her swim stuff. And I wanted to touch it, I'm not gonna lie. So I touched her booty. And she looked at me and people was around, but people was around, and I did it on my own accord. Nobody told me to go touch her booty, no nothing. That was just me. Because I was around the wrong and watched the wrong things. It was I don't know if that was before the Woods came out. So when that part happened, it was so funny when I seen it. All I can do is laugh in my mind. People are like, okay, why are you always cracking up at part? Because and I would tell them, and they would laugh at me like, for real, that's what you would do. And at that time, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think that was disrespectful. Truly, I didn't think I was. I thought she was gonna say okay. I thought she was just gonna look at me, and she kind of like ringed me out. It was like, that's why you got a little I was like, why are you talking about penis? That's how I knew she was sexually active. That was the first thing she said. She's like, that's why I would never F you. Because I was like, yo, we in high school. We didn't like, what grade was we in? We was in the 10th grade. We was a sophomore. We was 10th grade. I was like, what was you talking about? You talking like some older woman. Like I heard older women talking about men with little penis. And I'm like, I was like, I'm in the gym class. Like, and at 14 or 13, my penis wasn't little either. Like, not saying because I'm a black man or African, quote unquote, black man. But it was like, okay, but that was my fault. And I had to learn from that. And, and like, and such as the like days went by, I apologized to her. I walked up to her. I was like, I'm sorry, Tree. I didn't think none of it. I told her. And it was funny because it was stupid. Because what I should have just said in the beginning, I could have just told her that. And I did it again, like when nobody was really around, and she kind of blushed. Latrice was fair skinned, brown skin, so so you can see her, and she was like, "Why didn't you just say that?" I was like, "I don't know." And then by then, of course, she ain't like me, and then she slapped me. She ain't slapped me hard. She gave me like a yeah, see, boom, and then walked away. And then after that, she kind of had some respect, but she still had like, okay, you still touch me without warning me. And I always try to apologize, so I'll always do things when I got around her to show her I didn't do it for the same reasons. But then this one, that revelation as a 36-year-old man, to her, what she been through and hurt and pain, I was the same reason. Don't matter how much more, I can't say innocence because it wasn't innocent because I touched a woman unwittingly. And I want to challenge you in your mind to think about this, young man, if you've done this or not. Hopefully, you don't do anything as I did. That is the same as it was an unwilling touch. And we say this to our children, don't let them touch you this, and that. But we never give them like a description of understanding. And that's why I want to challenge you a description of understanding of why the African descent woman. Because I get revelation for men and women. More so now when I'm talking about them in my lives or to men, because I'm learning women are not receiving men anymore. I walked past a group of African descent women. It was 7, 8 of them, and and they was just talking. And one of them said, "I hate black men." And one like three of them, three or four of them actually said words too, and other ones was kind of agreed. And I walked by, and you could see like their heads went down because I was very close because I think once actually saying that I like they wasn't expecting because it kept I was watching this, so it was like a part where it was a lot of white people at, but they wasn't talking to white people; they were talking amongst each other. So, and I can see like I looked in their eyes and they looked back at me. I wasn't hurt by it. It just made me think like think as this is where we have gotten to. And I want to bring this up. My first example of showing me when African descent women did no longer wanted me, they went on TV. This is the part we keep forgetting. These movements, airing it on the radio, on TV, and not being funny always came. Now, came first. It came first. And I'm not putting a direct blame because I say there's both of us, but the blame nationally came from the African descent woman. An African descent woman, I can prove that to you. And if you want me to prove it, I will prove it. You can put that in the comment. Show you want me to give you stuff. I say it. Go look it up. It was televised. I remember as a young man, I didn't see men on TV. I didn't even in my neighborhood, I didn't see men. Even when I went out, we went to Chicago. We went to multiple places as a child. I cannot never say even our father was less there because that's why they call it father less. He's not as there as much. That don't mean I don't have a father. He's less time there, less effort he's putting in. We did things and I seen things. And it's not like as I didn't see the world. I know what was happening. I seen it. I watched it. I know why. I seen a woman get abused and then go have sex. I knew it was sex, but I didn't know the name or intercourse she wasn't making love because there was no love. He was abusing her. I just witnessed it now witnessed it at 8 years old and 36. It didn't change. I still have the same notion about it is wrong. But doing things as an adult and then as a child saying they wrong, instance going to strip clubs, watching porn, or watching women degrade themselves. It was degrading before, and now that I'm older, it's still degrading. But you have to hear these women talk. I actually asked the strippers and lady like, and this is the hardest thing for me to phantom, on which we have to. They keep saying they don't, but I keep meeting 70% of the women I ask. So if I ask 10 women, 7 to 6 of them will say, I actually enjoy what I'm doing. And I asked them, do you really enjoy putting your body all over a man that you never met for sometimes you might get a good little load of money and sometimes you're going to get change? A lot of them would say yes. And this is going to be probably 2 parts. I'm going to bring up the Tupac thing. I'm going to do that another time, but this is more where my heart is leading me to do in my spirit. Just to talk about this, just to open up the room, the atmosphere, the environment, so women can express themselves. Now they don't feel like they wasn't expressive. I met a woman said I was always suppressed and compressed. And I was like, wow, so you was in a relationship and she was gay. So even in a gay relationship, she was messing with a woman that was the same as her, but she was looking at her. She don't want to do that no more. She wanted the man, but she was 26 and coming off being a homosexual woman. So she was very confused. And she was saying, why am I at 26? Well, you're only 2 years out. I'm not saying that you couldn't have found someone right away. And then she would always go through things. And then, see, you didn't know that about me. You didn't know I went through this. I know I didn't. Because that was the woman, because she verbalized it to people. This was the woman telling people, I seen this before. You seen what? We worked together at a job. What you see? I'm friendly. I'm social with everybody. I wasn't getting with other women. And I told her the other woman, and she knew the other woman liked me, the one that I associated with first. She ignored me at first. She would not, and I sat by her, even though we in cubicles and we got a good amount of space. And if I sit down and get on my headset, I won't hear her. But she was 26. The other lady was a little bit older. So the other lady made her mark. And I was trying to explain, you want a man, you doing all this and this and that. You'll work so hard over here. But when it came to a man, you're not putting no energy and effort. And I had to think about that as a man. What energies and effort am I putting into my women? And that came into the conclusion. My last live talked about how I was given revelation that these men went hard, but whatever her core values, a core of things she desire in her life she want from a man, those men excited those things and they drew her interest. And I had to accept either I'm going to compromise for that or I'm going to have to set my who I am. So if I require respect and I don't want to pay for first dates, she had to respect that. And if she don't respect that, that shows me, and that's easy. And if we keep doing that, and if that become part of your lifestyle, and you hold true to your word, and eventually it will be easy for a woman to say, "This don't matter to me," because after this, and I showed him who I was. Man, he treated me as I wanted, and that goes for women too. You want a man to treat you as you see yourself. You have to show that in the outside eventually. You call yourself beautiful, but you're putting on blonde wigs and makeups and brown wigs. You're covering up your hair, but even under your hair, think about this. Think about this. And I do this with my lady cousins because I have two nieces that are very young and two older ones that didn't grow up with me. And I don't really say a lot to them, but I always encourage them. One of them called herself a queer, and one is very quirky. She's different, and I'm happy she loved young men, and the young men she's around, they're very respectable, and they're African descendant young men, and I was shocked. They look a certain way, but they're very respectable, and I was like, okay, her mother did her right. Other mother, they do nothing wrong. She just chose what she chose. And I respect her queerhood. And I have a gay cousin, have a bisexual family member, and I accept them as they are because they never done nothing. They never gave me a reason not to trust them. They never came against me. And I understand my gay male cousin why he don't come around because we're not a family like that. But altogether, I never made fun of him. Even when I not to it was funny to me when I seen him with his boyfriend and a little shih tzu dog. It was funny. I was like, okay. Then I seen him in the picture and I was like, I respect him. There's nothing he ever done to me to make me hate him. And if he ever invited me to a party and I wouldn't go to the wedding, but if he invited me and I told him, and he will respect that. If I told him why, and even in his times, we even talked. He even said things. He's like, I wouldn't invite you to this because it's all. Basically, he was telling me it's all gay dudes there, and I would laugh and say, okay, I understand. I know why, but I wanted to go, and he knew I wanted to go because that was him doing. I was supporting him because he was catering, or it had to do with him. I wasn't just going there to be around those men. I was going to support him. He knew that, and he respected that. So as I learned to respect these women as well, they was telling me they enjoy this. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. They have a liberation. And they do. And there's not a lot of opportunities for men, but it's way sure not a lot of opportunities for women. I was going to title this defending, but I didn't want to say I'm defending. I'm just preaching reality. I am guiding and challenging reality. There's not a lot of opportunities. So a lot of women in my city, they strippers. I don't want that because they got that, but it's some good women. It's someone you would never thought she would be an exotic dancer, a stripper, or burlesque, or a go-go, because they all fall in the same category now. It's not really a big differences. And you would never thought that these women will be these things. But look at them. They never thought that. But it's a way to make ends meet. And it's not a lucrative, but you can make more money than this money I went to school for. They can make 100,000. I know a lady was making 120,000. She was a good one. She had her car, she had her house, she was going to school, and that's how. And she didn't really she needed the financial assistance because there's no on books. It's that she get her HEPA, she got her financial aid, and her small. And I'm quite sure she took out a small little loan to probably to cover what she needed, and she paid it back. I met three of them like that. But at the time I was messing, it was always one time I really messed it up. She was a good woman. I see her now and she's doing great. She's not dancing. And I met one that was a business lady. I met a lady that she had that job and another job. I met some great women along my way. But being who I am, I was very bashful and shy. When a woman come on to me, I didn't know what to do. I had a woman like such as she would literally come to my apartment, hang out with me. She would cook. I wasn't some dude slumming on her. I had my own place. I went to school and work. I didn't know, and honestly, and that's what I try to tell women, and they laugh. I said, I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. One woman just laughed at me. I was like, you, and she kind of made fun of me. I was like, what was you all supposed to do? She was like, well, beat it. I was like, I didn't know what to do. And I try to explain that to women. A lot of men don't know what to do in certain situations. I didn't know what to do with that. I was taught, trained, and nurtured, breeded, fostered, and it was traditionally passed down. This is what a man do. But she was doing everything I was supposed to do too. So I would sit there, and she knew I was lost because once she did my role, I didn't know what to do. She took my money for like 3 months and she paid the bills. She took my money out of the account. She did everything I wanted to do. I didn't know what to do. And this is being honest. I did not know what to do. I was lost. I would tell her as I was like, and she would make me happy. And eventually she faded away because the funny part, I never dissed her. And I would, if she ever see this or hear me, I never wanted to diss her. I didn't diss her. We faded away because after a while, she didn't have a key. She would get into situations and I wouldn't see her. So I didn't see her for 3, 4 days and I wouldn't hear from her. And at that time, I had a house phone. I didn't have a cell phone. And I was like, make sure you call me. Or she'll leave a note on my door. I will call her. And she was like, well, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back. So whatever happened, I feel as maybe I lost her I didn't lose her to another man. But the man she probably ran into took that away. He knew what to do. I'm not mad at that. That's why I can smile in my life and say, I no longer started giving blame to the women. I had to stop. And most recently, a woman said, you're not blaming us, but the way you was talking about African descendant women, it will be turning us off. And I told her I can agree because the more recent lady I was dating, one of them, she kind of said that. And then I asked her now, she was the one now, because now I'm more aware. I said, can you give me an example of the things I would say? And I would wait. And she was like, see, you doing it. And then I was like, see, I'm doing what? And see, this was helping me. Well, I learned she couldn't help me. Only I can help myself at the same time. She didn't know how to give me an example of what I was saying. But I can come off and tell you things I was saying is not all women were this way, but okay, I was going through EI example. I was being attacked at that same job with that same two ladies. Now I'm a creep. Now they would get in huddles and I would see the women. I can hear and see things. I'm not blind and I'm not a nosy person, but I'm very observant. Like as at your desk, you can remove a tack off one of your things. I don't know why I can notice this. It's more spiritual than natural. I used to be able to do other qualities that got weakened because I didn't know who I was. You can remove a tack off of your wall on your cubicle, and I can remember that it was there. Like, did you remove that green, yellow, or red, white tack? Person looking like that's very weird. And one day that did happen. Something happened with one of the ladies of the cubicle. She's like, "You really noticed that?" I was like, "Yes, I know it sucks." She was like, "No," in a way. She was kind of weird out about it because it's like, "How did you notice that?" I barely noticed that, and the only reason she moved it because she noticed it. I didn't say nothing to her about it. So I had to start understanding there was something to that. And but they would veer off and talk about me. You talking about me? Why? I took you out and you told me you seen this before, and you seen me on a dating website. The lady you allowed the women to call me creeps, gay. I never allowed no one to talk about you. Even that other lady, she didn't talk about you when I went out with her. I didn't know it was that serious because from what she was telling me, she she didn't even want a relationship. I told her I didn't do nothing with her. I didn't do nothing with you. I'm being respectful and whatever. And then I finally learned they had beef because we was all in the same team. They had beef before I even got there. You know what they beef was? She was older and she was younger. That was my overall assessment of that situation. She was older and younger. The younger one garnished the attention that she wanted, but she was more the older one was more an introvert. And I asked her, why does that matter? And she was like, you. But I was like, that nothing to do with me. She was like, yes, but this happened. We already had a little tension because the older woman talked on to her now. And when we seen you, because you was like the first black guy, and you was actually a type of game that was like, women will look at, women will pay attention. Kind of made me feel good, made me understand, okay, I'm not all bad in my demeanor towards women. But then the one woman made me realize it was the way I was speaking. She said, yeah, you would tell us the good things, but women will only remember the bad, the negative. She's like, we don't know why we do it. We remember all that. Literally, for you to be good to a woman, you have to do it every day. So you just can't tell a woman you love her today and not tell her for 5 days. That's understandable, and I respect that. But then in some actions, she's like, women are women. So some things you're going to say and do, they're going to stick with them. And once you get into a disagreement or you come to a part where you are not aligning the words, she's going to throw that up in your face. And that's what even a mature woman, even a woman of great prestige or stature is going to do that. She said that don't change. Even the queen would do that. Even the empress would do that. So I had to start understanding that to take away my demeaning words. Not that I'm demeaning the women. I had to take away those words that was causing distress towards the women. Feel like they was being bashed and attacked. And hopefully this is helpful to a lot of people that's listening, because we don't have no understanding of our men and women. And what I want to get into as well on this one is our women have nowhere to go. They're the way they are. I was just watching track and field. I was watching one lady, she's an up and coming star, and some other ladies, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And some of them are close to my age. I was like, she close to my age? Okay, I've never seen her before. And I watched track and field. And I was like, wow, beautiful. I mean, to me, they're beautiful. I don't care. You cannot tell me an African descendant woman is ugly. What makes her ugly to me, the only thing is her attitude. Her attitude. And I won't have no attraction to her, not even sexually. And that's just me. That's something about me. Maybe because the way I grew up around the women I was around that done that turned me off. And I don't think that's a bad thing for me. For me, it keep me safe. It keep me not chasing the waterfalls. I'm sticking to my rivers and lake, but I still am working towards thriving and striving, as I say. And I'm watching the woman. She's like, yeah, yeah. I was like, well, this is one thing about African descendant women. They play more sports. So that would make them more aggressive because you're competing to win. They are more shamed in society when it comes to their sexuality. They are more shamed when it comes to their toughness or attitude. I'm not saying that it's not true, but I'm saying this is why they are the way they are. We know this already. But that's why I give excuse. That's why I don't really go hard when I hear a woman that's say I can relate, but on the flip side, all I can do is respect that. Know why I can respect that? Because she said on the flip side, so what I'm going through, I know she went through that. So I asked her if you want to talk about it, can you tell me your experiences? And if she don't respond or don't want to or don't want to talk or whatever, because I like to do surveys like emails, talk to her directly, use these WhatsApps, the Google Hangouts, the Dual, so we can chat. I really want to hear from the person I will talk to her. Then that's opened me up to even meeting other type of women, new women. That I'm thinking, well, there's only a woman in the neighborhood or prestige. What about the in-between women that think as me or that had a life as me? They're in-betweens. They're not in the streets, or they don't have that money capital. They don't not prestige. We call it prestige, money, power, respect. Or they didn't grow up in the streets. They don't have that street mentality. They have that in between. I want to work, I want family, I want children, or already have that, but I want more. I want to do it a different way. Those are in betweeners. That's what I call me. I'm like, and I'm lukewarm. If you say lukewarm is bad, well, lukewarm gonna be great today because I want a lukewarm ladies that understand this happened to me, but this is not all men and this is not all women. So they understanding is different, and it's a good positive difference because they're able to weed out and to take away from what's not to be the truth and what's the truth. That's what I want. That's able to think, not under some religion, some spell, some curse, something that's traditionally passed down, fostered, nurtured, and breeded into them. I want them to be like, this is my life, my life. So I have to look at those women, those playing those sports. Why wouldn't a Candace Parker, a Brittany Griner, be a little bit more tougher than the average white woman that is viewed as a housemaker? She go out and play sports because she want to be, I'm the woman. The black women go out, they really enjoy the sport. She's training year in. Allison Felix is an example. EI, Allison Felix, great woman. She's the most decorated, but she's not and not being funny, she's an in-betweener, I call her too. She's not the greatest female track athlete ever. Her accolades or achievements will say that because she persevered. And I give her all props. To me, she is. Other people, and it's how we view people. It's an opinion that can be fact or truth. It depends on how you talk about it. Yes, it's true that women are acting mannish, but why? Yes, it's true women have bad attitude, but why? Why do our Afro? And then don't defend, just get into the root. Remember we talked about the seed? When the seed open, it grow roots. What is the cause of what's going on? And there's subroots. So on top of that root, it's another root coming out of that long root. Why? Why is she doing that? It's understandable. She's in sports. She's supposed to be strong. She's training. But in the off season, she's going to be soft. Of course, when she's outside, she's tough. And I met plenty of women. As I stated, I met women that was in the street selling drugs, and I was North Carolina, beautiful. You know, I love my chocolate women, so she was chocolate and beautiful. She didn't wear makeup. She was hired. I call her hired because when she in the street, I used to be nervous. She held a gun on her, 9. I met a woman that held a 9 on her in a different situation, but she had a 9 on her. I was like, okay. I was in the military, so at that time I was a little younger. I was in my 20s. She was about 22, 23. She was about 4 years old, 23, 24, 25. That was her life. I'm surprised she was talking to me at that time. She said, a lot of women even now say I have an innocence about me. They say I'm loving, kind, and caring, but I guess that's not enough anymore to even begin and continue something with somebody because based on what they're looking for. But it's whatever. And what she did was she was a different woman. When we got in the house, banging body. She wasn't. Remember back in the day, you used to wear the baggy pants and the hoodie. She had that on. Take that off. Man, the body was amazing. Had 6-pack. She didn't play sports. She was always to herself. She had good grades. She was like very, very intelligent. Knew what to do. Had her own. And when we got in the house, it was a whole different her. And it would be funny because I know how to take her. And she would see that. She would say, you don't know how to take me, do you? She's like, but that's what I love about you. You're not judging me. You're actually defending me. You're doing what you're doing in your own right. Basically, that's how basically in so many words. And all I could do is she respected me. I respected her. I even seen her cry. She was like that man you ain't want to ever see cry. It's like she ain't want to cry, but she couldn't help it. I was like, and I told her, you a woman? Like, it's not. I didn't know what to call it. Now we have the word femininity. So I was like, you if I knew the word, it'd have been better. Well, I'm like, you a woman. You can cry. You softer. I was like, I'm happy you softer than me. Your skin my skin, and we used to joke about my skin being soft. I didn't grow hair. I barely grow hair now. She's like, your leg's softer than mine. You be shaving. I'm like, no, I don't. She know I don't shave. and she was cool. And she left me alone and I was okay with that. It's like you're not this lifestyle, and she told me I was too. I was like, you were never too good for me. We had different walks of life, and hopefully she met somebody. Hopefully her life got better, or if she's still doing that, I hope she not. But some people. So you will meet all different. I met all types of types of women that was strong. I don't want to call them mannish, but the one thing I do want to say to my women, I hate that you allowing these wigs, these weaves, these makeups, these social medias, other races of men to be your power. Because that's what I'm getting out of it. I'm seeing a woman that's on a YouTube beyond black and white elite. Her husband is a white man. It don't make sense because what she's doing is she's continuing the supreme order. She don't even realize it, but she do. But she's okay. But then she'll give and she still talk. Her whole page is built on hating men of her race. And I'm sitting here as I know, and I want to tell women, we're not doing that. We're responding to you. Because as I said, which we don't want to give the truth to, women, once it went public, women was mad at us in the home. Instead of keeping it in the home, it went public. Because they felt, well, he cheating. So that's in the public. I'm going to go on national TV public. The first thing I seen was Maury Povich show. The woman said, I have cancer or something she had. I can be dying. And I want to tell him this may not be his daughter. I was 13. Or no, I was 10 or 11. It re-aired at 13 when I seen it again. I was like, oh, this is the episode at 13 because I couldn't remember it. I was like, this is effed up. She cheated on him? And that was the only reason. And it was a dark-skinned brother and she was brown-skinned. I was like, damn, the child was a little darker. And happy he was a father, but you can imagine how that relationship went. And then watching CNN, MSNBC, Oprah Winfrey, Ricky Lake show, the first shows was black women, quote unquote, black women saying there's no good black men. So we started fashioning after in the 1300s after their life, but we was going through the slavery. People keep saying slavery from the 1800s. Let's go back to 1300. Don't forget about that era, those times. They was doing that then. They was taking us from our homes and raising us and telling us this is who we are. And that's another thing I think about slavery. We thought the people that was raised under the Roman Empire was part of us because they had the same skin color and they talked like us or as us. Like, because it's in the bad meaning, like us. So know what we did? We accepted them. And I think too that kind of played a role. I call them pawns and decoys, or we say informants, as we say the FBI people. They was the Federal Bureau. They were the Federal Bureau. That's why I tell people you're going to be surprised when the so-called Antichrist come and whatever we think is going to happen. It's going to be a person that look just like us, going to be dark as us, causing all this turmoil. They're going to be working together because they're going to be it's already work. That's why it's called a supreme order. That's why it's called a system. They took one person and made them and say, how can we mess them up? And as an African descendant, man, I know how to mess up black people, quote unquote, black African descendant people. I know how to mess us up. How you think they're good at it? But then now they don't need us because they like, well, we got the information. But what they're going to do is watch us because they still need more information. Because when we change, they have to change to match to make sure that we stay the way we are. So for our women to change, we have to match and change or we're going to stay the way we are. And I want to say this to my women as well. You keep saying there is no men to build, but where is the mothers to maternal? Think about that. You keep saying you a good woman. You keep saying you a woman of stature. You the epitome of a woman. You a queen. You an empress. You a goddess. But where is your maternal? Where is you at what for these young women that don't have? Now we talking about the men not being around the men and not helping these young women. Where are you at? Where are you at? Who are you helping? I seen the story of women. You couldn't see it. It was just talking. How they helped this young lady go through her times and pains and hurt. And at the end of the story, they finally showed us a picture. It was three young African descent women. They was helping a young white woman. And I can think countless of times when I seen this before, I was like, you helping not so much she's the enemy or the conqueror colonizer. But I thought this story was about African descendant women. That's what I was reading, helping women. But they always want to put it, and even now, oh, this hurt me. This hurt me. This is threatening to womanhood. Since y'all don't like them, since y'all don't garnish towards the qualities of being maternal anymore, you're calling guys that want to be women, women, and saying, don't do that. You're defending a man that want to be a woman. You're defending white women that they don't want to defend you. We're defending everything but our own women. Women, you're not defending your own women. I can't defend a woman. When a woman is attacked by a woman, what can I do? When Joan Rivers called Serena Williams a man, what can I say and do? Black women, where were you at? So as we say that, we got to start coming with logic. And now I'm going to use the word in the word context. What context and the content we are using? It's a trick. You telling me I got to defend a woman when you didn't defend her. You're like, well, there's no men to defend me. Hold on. Why no woman ain't stopped? So if a woman have a husband and your tire is flat, why didn't she call her husband? See, and this is where I part ways with logic and practicality with women. And this is my beef. When it comes to my own women, the same practicality, the same logic, the same comprehension, the same understanding is not cut down the line. It's always on a side. It's cut and if it's on a line, it's either the left side where there's women, we're gonna say left is women, the right side is men, or the right side is women, and the left side is men. You're going to go to the left side if you're a woman because that's the man, or vice versa. You're going to go to the side where you're going to deflect. Nobody is holding accountability no more. No, a lot of women won't hold. And there's even women starting to see this. Women will talk to the man that is hurt by their own race of women, and we will get progress. When she's talking, and I keep hearing this, and this is not a diss to women. I want women to understand. Where's your maternal instinct? Why are you not validating these women? Why are you not valuing these women? You're going to value Cardi B, but diss Nicki Minaj when they're doing the same thing. That makes no sense. You're valuing the movie Power, but then you're valuing the movie TV show Mary Jane. But the power and values that we should be doing, it's not. We're not valuing the lady that's a virgin. We're not valuing a young lady that don't like rap music and she may be a little quirky and different. But of course the men gonna love her because she's a woman, and a lot of men love women. Women don't love women, and that's understandable. But in the sense of loving, men will love a man more than a woman will love a woman. Think about this, women. Think about this, men that think. And if you a man, get rid of your pains and hurt based on you. She did that, not her. And I understand why men are stronger. I may not give a full definition, but this just a guy and to give you a challenge, make you think. Why you think you're stronger than a lot of men? You would never be a man. But think about ways, now if you met a man, as you probably have, that's wanting to take you out, wanting to be in your life, why are you so quick to push him away? And if you going back to the values and cores, so you telling me the guy on the street that don't have a job, that's okay for you, even though he's going hard? And I like to challenge people. Think about that. And why is women telling me, and cold-heartedly and open-heartedly, women keep telling me they don't want good men. I had a woman, basically that's what I was going through. I went through an era and a times when I would meet women just like the one in North Carolina was hardcore. Hardcore, I mean street. The good men, they didn't know what to do. I met a good woman. I told her I enjoyed it. It ain't like I didn't know what to do. I said, you're taking away things. She was like, oh, that's cool. But I was like, you're not going to get, I can't, you getting the best of me, but you're not going to get the all of me. And if I think about it, I think that's what caused her to be like, I wasn't mad. I wasn't hurt about it. I'm actually happy for her because she finally get to see. And then she think about what I said. And a lot of women come back to me, whether, and I tell women, when you stop talking to me, you found a way to hate me. Because you can hate me and not call me. But the guy that was abusing you and so-called, and I tell him he manipulated you. Because you know why? He punched you in your face and tell you he loved you at the same time. That's manipulation. You're willing to go back to him. Even I met a woman at the job, another woman at a different job. We started talking and I didn't work at the job no more. She just called me about her ex and things she was going through. I found out he hurt her. He broke her foot and tried to make her feel bad. He did so much that I would listen to her. And I would tell her, I was like, and then when we found like, what are we doing? Then I was like, you gave your heart to a man based on his income and she listened and his love. You keep giving him access to you and you're not taking it away from him. Why? I know why, because she ain't never had to really say nothing because she was quiet a lot. Because I found it 2 days in a row before she started opening it up to me. And I would just listen. And as this happened before, a lady I was in church, one day, I don't know what happened. This lady would never say hi to me. She would look at me funny. She would like all types of things. We worked from the, even now, it's the same thing. She finally say hi to me on a regular, kind of, okay, on our, what we call our, I won't say our regular basis, because a lot of people is like every time, no. If I say it, she might say it. More time now, she will than before. One day we was at an event, it was ending. I don't know, it was heavy on her chest and it just poured out. I was like, yes, okay. I don't know what I said or done or even in the spirit. And after like 5 to 7 minutes, she stopped. She's like, why? She's just like, I think she ain't really say nothing. She's like, no, she said it. Like, again, remind me of something else. Why am I telling you this? So I was like, I care. And she started talking again for like 30 seconds. Then she stopped and walked away. And it was still going through a service because it was a long day. It was like one of them days where we go eat, come back up because it was an event going on and other people was coming to our church for this event. So we went back upstairs and it was like, it felt like a regular relationship. That means finally, after so many years of being around her at the church, she's talking. No, the next time I seen her, it was the next day, I think, because it was a Monday or something. I seen her because we had Bible study. It changed, went right back. And I learned something about a good man to a woman. It intrigues her, but it don't draw her near. Even if you look at, I even spoke to a woman that's interracialized intermingling. The men they was with weren't even really good to them. One woman said, and she didn't think nothing of it. She thought it was funny. If the food was nasty, he would literally throw it at the wall. Like when you seen The Color Purple, I thought that was very disrespectful. He will explain why it was nasty because he can tell the difference in the ingredients. Okay, you use the different ingredients when, like if you use something called roasted gravy compared to a gravy in a bottle, roasted gravy is all it is the leftover gravy that they wouldn't use and it's kind of burnt, and he can taste the difference than from regular gravy. He was okay with the gravy, and even after a while, he's like, I don't even want the regular gravy. You make your own gravy. It tastes better. It's not, because it's been in a bottle. They're going to put things in it. So more natural. And she understood that. But that was disrespectful. He didn't do things for her. And I met another lady, her husband, I had to stop talking. I was doing security. She was looking beautiful. She would wear dresses. And I would compliment her. I didn't know she was married. And I was like, oh, she married. And I finally like, oh, snap. I'll stop talking. Then we got into a situation where we was eating lunch and I was in the area and she came and sat by me. She was like, thank you for all the compliments. I was like, oh, you're welcome. And we just got to talking. And then one day I said something about flowers. She's like, my husband never gave me flowers. She's married 6 years. Never, never. I was like, wow. Like, his husband never. And then another lady I met, she was intermingling, interracializing as well. He never opened the door for her. And I would talk to them. I was like, wow, you really? And this is me. And as I told the one lady that she finally made me understand, I don't have certain things in me that women desire. I even just, that's what came through my revelation. I had a dream about, I met a woman who had these, she was I'd say she's a millionaire, but her gross income was like 800,000 a year, but she can get up because her commission and bonuses got her. And she's like, we was, it's one to be one of my movies. We was dating. I would see her every time at lunch because I worked as in the mailroom for this company, and I didn't know who she was. She was more of like a CEO of the company. She basically was around when the company started, and they gave her a high position because the company had great success with her being at that position. So they kept her there. She didn't do any sexual acts or favors to get there. She didn't have to lower or do anything different from being herself. Knowing she went to school, had the degree, and did all the work or whatever. And I kept showing her I admired her. She didn't look at me because she would see me. I would ride my bike to work. And one day, where we started talking, I didn't realize she used to watch me. She was like, wow, this guy have so much joy. He's happy. He always talking to me. He buy my lunch, he buy my drink, buy my wine. She finally gave me an opportunity and she approached me. It's like, are you the guy? And she seen me in the mailroom. Well, no, it was more so I approached her and she finally accepted and received me. And she allowed me to take her out. And then as we got to know her family was very prestige. Her friends and their husband was prestige. And they had a lot of mixed relationships in her friendship with her friends. And they met me and they would ask her, why are you dating him? And she couldn't see like what's wrong with him besides, then when we started doing certain events, then she noticed. She's seeing me being a little not different, but working harder and being tired. And so she got into my life and I got into her life. She showed me her life. See, this is what my life is made of. Your life is different. And I was started backing off. She's like, I thought you was gonna meet the challenge, but you didn't. You backed off. Why is that? Then she was like, okay. She gave up for a little while. We stopped talking for a while. This isn't my dream. It's gonna make it a movie. And she finally showed this is what I do in my life. So one day, for her working with the company, she put in paperwork to give me like paid time off, like 4 or 3 days, which I have accumulated. It's like this is what I do on a daily basis for 3 days. And then after the 3 days, after a week, she was saying, see what I do? Are you okay with this? I told her yes. But are you willing to get to that? And this is where like my dream. Now I have to make the decision about the movie. Am I gonna what direction I want to go in? But I want the movies I make to be entertaining. I hope my lives are entertaining. I hope what I say helped you. Hopefully it's just not rambling and jumble. I hope we can come to an understanding. I hope. Because I'm doing the work that the men and women, we can start understanding one another and not just be so, this is the way it is. This is automatic. Each person have a life that they've been through and all our lives do not intertwine, but eventually they will align. What I do today may affect me tomorrow, or it may affect some other young man or woman tomorrow, or today it might affect them. It can be in a good or a negative or positive way. It depends on how you want to look at it. So what I say unto one, I say unto all, it's your path, it's your journey. Choose wisely. Remember, every decision is your choice. Everything you do is up to you. I can't do it for you. You can't do it for someone else. But what we can do, we do have control over ourselves. We have control over our response. So our responsibilities, our actions, that's going to create and form and build a cause and effect. What did you do? What's the outcome? And if it's towards another person, everybody received different things different. But I hope as a race of African descendant men and women, we join together for a more open conversation, topics, subjects, dialogue, and not just blaming one another. And if we're going to talk about one another, have it open enough where there's room for understanding. I am hurt because this happened. This is why I'm hurt. This is who hurt me. This is an individual. And then now I still feel this way because of what the events, the cause and effect, what happened. And then now look at the example you're giving me. That's a respectable. But to keep beating what's hurting you and just to show signs of anger and hate, it don't get us nowhere. Until we can break through those spells, cursings, trance, and all those negative things, the pressure, the distresses, we can always be the same. But I say this, we can be better within ourselves. And I learned when you work from within yourself, everything outside of you, it becomes better as well. Because it has to become better. If you become better, the inside of you is going to show on the outside. If you're getting rid of toxic matter in your body, it have to come through somewhere. So you got to discrete it or it's going to come through your pores. It's not going to look pretty at first, but give it some time. It's going to be way better than you thought. And you are greatness. Let yourself know that. Shalom.